Hello, welcome to a non-episode of Dash Detailed. I'm Amanda B. Johnson, and I would just like to invite you for a moment to have a sit upon my knee while we have a little chat. Because I've just noticed something over the past few days that I think bears receiving comment. And so let me give you a little backstory in case you don't fully grasp the reference of the title of this video. So, Theymos is the name of a moderator on the Bitcoin subreddit, and I believe the Bitcoin Talk forum as well. And he's been a moderator of both of those places for years. And a couple of years ago, when there began to be an ideological split, more noticeably within Bitcoin. And first, let me preface with an ideological split in any group of any size. Oh, look how weird that the lighting is changing on me. Pay no mind. This is an unedited video. An ideological split in any sort of group, I believe to be inevitable. I mean, even among spouses, like partners, like two people who have basically said to each other, I jive with you more than anyone else in the world. Even spouses have disagreements and ideological splits at times. So it's absolutely inevitable that these sorts of things are going to happen in, say, online forums and discussion areas. And so the thing with moderators, of course, is that they will likely fall on one side or another of these ideological splits, likely. And so in the case of Theymos, when this divide began to present itself in Bitcoin a number of years ago, he began hand-picking posts to remove. And at times deleting comments as well, if I'm told correctly. And this went on for some time, and it was not a small deal. It birthed a migration of a number of people to an alternate subreddit, RBTC. It birthed a whole different set of forums at bitcoin.com. And it even birthed a number of memes, and there was even a political cartoon that it had like a little drawing of a thermos on it, and it said like thermos as like a reference to Theymos, and it had like a fork on it, and the thermos was talking about the fork or something. Anyway, what I'm getting at is that it was no small deal. Even well-known Bitcoin millionaires like Roger Ver and Eric Voorhees were tweeting about this moderation issue, and it caused a good deal of drama. Now, up to this point, I believe all of that was inevitable, and as it's now begun in Dash, we'll call our Theymos Thuster. I believe that all of this is totally inevitable and is totally fine that people would have differing visions of the future. And the reason that it has not caused as big a problem, if any problem at all, actually in Dash as it did in Bitcoin, is because Bitcoin's masternode voting mechanism has made it so that even in the midst of this censorship and confusion on Dash's largest discussion forum, which in our case is actually Slack as opposed to Reddit, it's not caused nearly the level of drama and confusion that Theymos and his ilk caused within Bitcoin, because we can still know which way the wind is blowing. Now let me describe what I mean. So, as an investor, the most important thing to you is where the wind is blowing, right? Because that's all investing is successful investing is correctly identifying the way that the wind is blowing and throwing your money in the wind so that it can land in a place where it will be worth more later. And so when there start to be ideological divides within cryptocurrencies, you go to these different forums, and to read one forum from another, you would think that the wind was blowing in completely opposite directions, right? As an example, our BTC says that Blockstream has taken over Bitcoin and it's all headed to shit, whereas our Bitcoin says that Bitcoin is the second coming, no need to look for Jesus anymore because he's here, and it's Bitcoin. Like, what I'm getting at is that for an investor who's thinking to himself, oh, I'm thinking of perhaps starting a business, or I'm thinking of putting my wealth in one direction or another, I wonder which way the wind is blowing in Bitcoin. To go to our BTC and then go to our Bitcoin, one would have absolutely zero idea, because it's so conflicting. One cannot figure out, what do the biggest investors in Bitcoin, the holders, what do they actually think? What do they actually want? In which direction are they headed so that I can throw my money in the direction of that wind current? And so, in spite of the fact that Dash's Slack is no longer a place that most reasonable people want to be, it is still entirely possible to see clearly which way the wind is blowing with Dash's investors by just looking at the votes for treasury funding. This can be easily seen, for example, at dashvotetracker.com. One can see precisely what masternodes, each holding 1,000 Dash, think about this type of development, what they think about this type of contractor, what they think about this type of business partnership and integration. And so one does not have to wonder if this babble you're seeing in one sort of discussion is really the way people think, or is it this other forum, is that really the way people think? Basically, you don't have to have like a crisis of information or a crisis of uncertainty with all these competing discussion forums, and that will continue. It's not even a problem that there are competing discussion forums claiming completely different facts to be the facts, if there remains a mechanism to see what fellow investors actually think, cutting through all the bullshit. And so that, in short, is why Dash's thruster problem will in no way cause the same sort of misery that Bitcoin's Theymos problem seemed to cause for so many people. And so that is just what I wanted to say in this video. And personally, my favorite place to chat anyway is and always has been Reddit. I really like it because you can see like the history of any person who leaves a comment. Like if you don't know who it is who's leaving a comment and you want to maybe get a better idea of where they're coming from, you can just click on their username and see when they created their account. As in, if they created it yesterday, they're probably just there to troll you. Not only that, but you can see comments that they've left elsewhere, and so you can get an idea of like where they're coming from and whether they're real or again whether they're just there to troll you. So I think Reddit is great. If you would like to join me there, it's our Dash Pay, and that is really all I have for you at this time. Tune in for tomorrow's regular weekly Wednesday episode, where you will find an interview with the founder of Living Room of Satoshi. All right, see you then. Bye-bye.